go. Squad up, never roll alone. And we gon' ride on forever. We ride out together. Pull up right in your zone. Take over the street, that's how we roll. And we gon' ride on forever.
Hi guys, my name is Trevor Formula, and in this video I'll be talking about all the events, news and gossip out of the paddock after the Spanish Grand Prix last weekend. The events include the two-day test at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. And the first thing I'm going to start with is a favourite to mine, which is the regulations have been discussed for the 2016 and 2017 Formula 1 season. Now the first thing I'm going to discuss, which has been confirmed for the 2017 season, is refuelling is back in Formula 1. Refuelling was around in Formula 1 till 2009, so not very long ago, and I really enjoyed refuelling in races. Now that the advantages for that is that the engines could be run at the highest setting, fuel consumption was lower, and the engines would run faster. It also put a lot more strain on the pit crew, as pit stops were longer and strategies needed to be changed. Now Formula 1 cars go in for average of around 3 seconds. The pit crew are incredibly fast, they practice what they do every day, but now they're going to have to practice for the 2017 season in refuelling. Like we saw before 2009, pit stops were around 8 to 10 seconds, sometimes longer, sometimes less time, depending on if they practiced enough, and that's what we'll see. Teams will be practicing around the 6-second mark. And I'm really excited about this coming back into Formula 1 for those reasons. Probably the biggest one is strategy. Now before a race, a driver will discuss with his team mechanics and the pit wall about the strategy, what lap he's coming into, and obviously the pit crew will practice at around 3 seconds getting the car out, so they spend very little time and they can get back into the race. As I say, strategies will have to change, and it puts more pressure on the pit crew. And if you go in for a pit stop, if you do a bad pit stop now, you can regain time, and obviously if you're the leader, it doesn't matter, because you might be in the lead. I mean, at the moment in the last couple of races we've seen, the Mercedes dominating. If they have a bad pit stop compared to Ferrari, there's no sweat, because they're already ahead. But it puts a lot more pressure on that if a pit stop doesn't go to plan, then that could be it. The race could be gone for them because they've lost so much time in the pit lane. Now the only downside to that is safety. Now refueling was taken out of Formula 1 for I think one of two reasons. First one being safety, and the second one being like the economic footprint of Formula 1. Now safety is an issue for people in Formula 1 and the FIA, not really to fans. I don't mean we want to see drivers being hurt or anything like that, but in terms of excitement, it will definitely raise excitement. What kept happening was, and it happened in many races, is that the fuel hoses would come off, or they'll be attached to the car, and we could see accidents like fire, flame in the cockpit and things like that, and even worse in some scenarios. And we've seen from other formulas and other sports, such as NASCAR, how it can get out of hand very quickly. To a fan point of view, it's going to make it more exciting in terms of the actual Formula 1 race, and as I said, the pit strategies and how much pressure it puts on their race, and also the pit stops. It will put more excitement, but safety is definitely a concern. They brought it back to make Formula 1 more exciting, to run the cars at faster, to make them faster, as they can run the engines at a much higher setting, but they must be on top of the safety. And the FIA must have be very happy, 110% happy that there will be no safety issues bring refueling back, because they would not bring it back if they thought that accidents such as we saw when refueling wasn't Formula 1, that if any accidents would happen then. And the second issue is, and this is also, I believe, the sole reason of why things like V6 engines were brought in, to reduce the footprint, the carbon footprint of Formula 1. Obviously, we're in a world state now where reducing our carbon footprint is vital. So maybe that's one of the reasons, but again, this is going to be incredibly exciting. The thing that I'm looking forward to is how much the pit crew are going to have to train and how much pressure it's going to put on them. And if anything, in 2017, aren't they going to be the superstars? Because now they've got to do all the changing of getting the 4 tyres off, putting them back on, and the wings and all that. Then they've got to do all that plus refueling. It's going to be incredibly exciting, and I can't wait. Other changes that have been discussed, nothing that I'm going to discuss now has been confirmed, but the big thing is that Pirelli, who distribute the tyres, their contract runs out at the end of this year. Now they're thinking of renewing it for the 2016 season, but Michelin, who supply Formula E, and they're trying to get into other formulas as well, are thinking of coming into Formula 1, supplying tyres and being the tyre brand on top. In terms of road cars, Pirelli have, I would say, really made, in terms of branding, they have expanded from Formula 1, their Formula 1 brand. They've definitely expanded around the world, and Michelin are going to try and do as well. Is the fact of Dunlop tyres, in terms of their Formula 1 sponsorship and being in Formula 1, that's definitely helped. Definitely helped those. 18-inch Pirelli tyres might also be a factor of next year. Pirelli will introduce these 18-inch tyres. The belts of what they're made of, we have Kevlar at the moment. This was the way to go after the 2013 German Grand Prix, after the regulation was changed, but the belts might be made of other materials, possibly things like carbon to make them lighter, stiffer and more durable in the races. But again, obviously none of that is confirmed, it's just rumours out of the paddock. After the 2013 Australian Grand Prix, the 2014 Australian Grand Prix, the problem was in that race, the main problem around the paddock was how loud the engines were. They were not loud at all. It was, you could hear the pit lane whistle, you could hear the fans roaring, you could hear the fans cheering, you could hear the wheel guns and the wheel spin of the cars leaving the pit lane, and that was really, it's not what you want to see in Formula 1. It's loud cars compared to when we had the V10s and the V12s in the history of Formula 1. So they're going to definitely be worked on, and it's, to get those louder. And also as well, when the turbocharger was brought into Formula 1, the fastest lap at the Sao Paulo circuit, Interlagos, was changed. As they have the ascent up to the start-finish line. Normally that would actually, in terms of like gravity, that would affect the engine. Obviously a lot of the fastest laps were set in times of like 2004, 2005 by Michael Schumacher, Kimi Raikkonen and Fernando Alonso in those really fast cars. That was the era of when the Formula 1 cars were at the fastest. But that fastest lap was changed at Interlagos last year because of this, because they were able to, even though it was a gradient, they managed to keep the engine as powerful. And that in the end, the cars will improve in power, somewhere around 8%, so that should be good. None of this is confirmed, but it would be great to see as they're talking about the regulations. And also, last thing is there's going to be a better free choice in terms of tyres. In races, Pirelli will determine the tyre compounds that can be used. What they will do is they will give you, I think they will give two tyre options. So for example, Monaco will be probably super soft and soft. What will happen is now, what's been discussed might happen, is that the teams will have a chance to pick 4 of the tyres. So if they want to run the hard compound in Monaco, or the hard compound in, a race that the hard compound's never been run in before, then a team can do that if they think it will give an advantage to themselves, instead of picking just between those 2 compounds. I think that one will be the best one to do, because sometimes I'm in races, sometimes when it's a race weekend, and I will think, well, it would be great to see, say the hard compound being ran when maybe only the medium is. So I think that would be absolutely fantastic to see. I really hope that one is definitely confirmed for the 2016 and 17 season. 2016 is nearly around the corner. We're nearly into the summer break, and it's next year, so we're getting, time is ticking in a way, especially for the FIA to pull out these regulations. So that will be good to see. Now I'm just going to discuss the Barcelona test day. It started with test day 1, which was quite a slow. Not many teams going out, but not really performing as I would think they would. Nico Rosberg was the fastest on day 1, and in day 2, Jolyon Palmer was actually fastest. If you've watched my other videos, you'll have seen me discuss him. He is definitely my prodigy to be in Formula 1 next year. I don't know what seat he would take. He's driving for Lotus at the moment. Lotus, like their third driver. He's going to be doing a lot more. He's going to be doing a lot more sessions on the Friday, which we do see GP2 drivers and drive some other formulas and test drivers driving on the Friday. So we're definitely going to see him in more of those. But he could be a Lotus driver for next year. On the topic of Lotus, obviously, as we know, Romain Grosjean and Pastor Maldonado haven't been performing as well. It's a bit like Sod's Law for the two Lotuses, and when it is running in their favour, reliability issues can happen. I don't really think it's to do with how good or bad they are at driving, but obviously, as we saw from the 2012 season with Romain Grosjean, maybe that is a factor that has to be taken into account. The crashes, especially the one at Spa, which took about 20 seconds to escalate, was a very show-stopping moment. Anyway, so that's about it for this video. I'm going to make another preview. I'm going to make a preview video for Monaco, the Monaco Grand Prix. The thing that I can tell you though is, but like other races, is Fernando Alonso is sure, 100% sure in his own driving ability and the car that he will score his first points in Monaco, and they will count. They will be, in it. And Nico Rosberg wants to emulate his win in Monaco, just like his father. It seems to be a fantastic track for Monaco to win. All in all, the Mercedes will butt heads again, like always. The Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, he will be sneaking in, but it will be fantastic to see. So please tune in later in the week for my Monaco Grand Prix preview. As always, please like and subscribe to my video. That would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate that, and I will see you in my video for the preview of the Monaco Grand Prix. Thanks for watching this one, guys, and I'll see you later.